Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. On this channel, we talk about how to make money, we talk about lifestyle, and then ultimately we talk about how you can achieve financial freedom. If you're interested in me helping you do that on a one-on-one basis, you can send me an email to RF Financial Consulting. The email address for RF Financial Consulting is in the description box of this video. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys that want to get this one-on-one coaching. Today though, we're going to be talking about how to leverage credit cards to buy real estate. This is a technique, guys, I've used for many years, and I thought, why not share that technique with you guys? Now, just to make sure you understand, this is a technique that's not for everybody. But for someone who understands leverage or who wants to get into real estate without using all of their cash, this is a good technique to be able to do that. Now, how does it work? Well, let's dive in and I'll show you exactly how the technique works. Let's use this right here as an example. $250,000 purchase price on a single family home. Now, I already know I'm going to need to put 20% down because it's a rental property and most lenders require at least 20% down on rental properties. So that comes to about $50,000. I also know I'm going to need to get a loan from that lender for $200,000. Now let's move over here to how I use credit card arbitrage in order to help me purchase this piece of real estate. How I use my credit cards in order to take out a loan is pretty simple. With my credit cards, there always are offers. And these offers are ways that the credit card company wants to incent their credit card users to use their credit card limits. So what they do is, in the offers button, you'll normally have two types of offers. You'll have 0% balance transfer offers, whereby you can take your current credit limit and use that to pay off other high rate credit card balances and move them to your current credit card. That's one way. The other way is they give you a low fixed interest rate loan that you could use for anything. And I use that low fixed rate interest loan to buy real estate and other assets that create wealth for me. Now in this scenario, I already know I'm going to need $50,000 from my credit card, plus I'm going to need the closing costs. So for $58,000, I'm going to need to go to my credit card and do a credit card loan. And the way that credit card loan works is they typically will charge you a 4% transaction fee. And in this scenario, on $58,000, a 4% transaction fee would be $2,320. So they'll charge me that up front. And then what I do is I get 18 months of no interest payments in exchange for paying them that 4% transaction fee. So then what I do is I take the $58,000, like I said, I minus out the transaction fee, so that leaves me $55,680. $50,000 goes to my down payment, which is 20%. $56.80 goes towards my closing costs for this real estate purchase. So all in, I have $58,000 that I borrowed from my credit card company in order to help me purchase this particular real estate property. Now, let's move over to how do I pay this credit card loan back at the end of the 18-month interest-free period. Well, what I would do is, at the end of that 18 months, I would go back to my bank and I would ask to apply for an equity credit line. And the reason I do equity credit line instead of an equity loan is because I don't want to pay any of the principal back at this particular moment. With an equity loan, you get a one-time lump sum of money, but you have to pay back principal and interest every month on an equity loan. But on an equity line of credit, in most cases, at least for all the banks that I've dealt with on equity credit lines, you do not have to pay the principal back right now. All you're responsible for paying back is the interest. So normally with my equity credit lines, I'm going to get a variable interest rate which is tied to the prime rate. And currently right now, I'm getting prime minus 51 basis points. So what that means is the prime rate is 3%. I'm actually getting 51 basis points taken off of the prime rate, which gives me a variable rate of about 2.49% on my equity credit lines. So we would do the appraisal, or the bank would do the appraisal on my property. After 18 months, I paid $250,000 for the property. The property appraises for $275,000 in 18 months. And most banks will give you up to 90% loan to value. And all that means is if the property appraises for $275,000, they will give you 90% of that number. And 90% of $275,000 is $247,500. So I know that is pretty good. That's a great equity line that I can put in place to help repay this credit card loan after 18 months. But let me move on and tell you exactly how I get there. Now I also know on my $200,000 loan that the bank gave me, which is my first mortgage, the equity credit line would be my second mortgage on the same property. I know that through principal pay down over 18 months, I'm going to take this principal balance of $200,000 down to $195,000. Now, how do I get that number? Well, you got to understand, guys, this is a rental property. So every month over the next 18 months, I'm going to get rental income. Part of that rental income is going to go to pay for expenses on the property. The other portion will go to pay down this loan balance. And I know over an 18-month period, I'm going to pay down at least, or not me, but my renters through their rental checks, they're going to pay down at least $5,000 off of this $200,000 balance. So that'll leave me a $195,000 loan after 18 months. Remember, I'm getting 90% of the $275,000, which is $247,500 minus my first mortgage, which is $195,000, which leaves me with an equity credit line of $52,500. So now I have an equity credit line in place that I can use to pay off this $58,000 credit card loan. So what I go ahead and do is I take the $52,500, I take the full thing from the credit line, keeping in mind all I'm going to be responsible for is paying the interest on that $52,500 at 2.49% monthly. That's it. That's all I'm going to be responsible for, which is not a big number. That number equates to about $100 a month, maybe $150 a month in interest. That's it. I don't have to pay any principal back right now. So I take the $52,500 and I come up here and I pay off this $58,000. Now there is a balance left, right? So $58,000 minus $52,500, that leaves me a $5,500 balance that I have to take out of my own pocket in order to satisfy the credit card loan. In order to control a $250,000 property, I had to put $5,500 in, which is less than a 2.5% equity in from me. Guys, that's phenomenal, because what that did for me was I was able to keep basically $52,500. No, actually, I was able to keep the full $58,000 of money that I would have had to take out of my investments out of the stock market. I would have had to take those investments out of the stock market in order to purchase this real estate property unless I understood how to use credit card loans. So I kept that $58,000 in the market. It continued to work for me over the last 18 months. And then when it was time for me to pay the credit card loan off, the only thing I had to do at that point is come out of my pocket with $5,500 to control a $250,000 asset. And I'll take it even one step further, guys. Since the property appraised for $275,000, I'm controlling a $275,000 property on $5,500 out of my pocket. So instead of me spending $58,000 out of my pocket, I only spent $5,500 by using this credit card loan technique to buy real estate. That's amazing though. You got 2.2% came out of my pocket, which is the $5,500. Where are you going to be able to leverage real estate to the point where you only have to come out with about 2% cash in the deal? The way I do it is through credit card loans. So this is a technique, guys, that you all can do if you understand the technique. Now, a couple of things you're going to need to have. You're going to need to have some cash on hand, because at the end of the day, if the appraisal comes back short, that means you're going to have additional money to go in the deal. See, this is predicated on the appraisal coming back at a value that's consistent with what I've seen in the past 10 years, right? Now, the next thing you may be asking is, okay, well, great. How do you pay off the HELOC though? I see how you paid off the credit card, but how do you pay off the HELOC? Well, here's how I pay off the HELOC. Again, back to this $200,000 loan. I know in 5 years, by collecting rental income and taking that rental income and paying my expenses and paying down my principal on this loan, I know this loan is going to be paid down to about $175,000 in 5 years. And this is based on a 3.5% fixed rate loan for 30 years on $200,000. So this loan will be paid down to $175,000. So the appraisal is $275,000. I know I owe $175,000. So that leaves me with $100,000 of equity when I go to sell the property in 5 years. What I would also do is I take the $100,000 in equity and then we would pay off the equity line, which is $52,500. So $100,000, I would pay off the $52,500, which would leave me at the end of the day with $47,500 in profit in 5 years using this scenario. So not only did I only come out of pocket to control this $250,000 piece of real estate for basically $5,500, when I sold the property in 5 years, I actually made $47,500 in the deal, that's how you leverage credit cards in order to buy real estate. Guys, drop me some comments and let me know what you think. Is this a technique you would use? Again, you got to have some cash on the sideline. You got to have decent credit to be able to get these great credit card offers that I get. But if you can do those two things, then you could certainly use this technique to buy real estate. Well, guys, if you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash that thumbs up button. It helps the channel and it helps me too. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing greatness, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.